पूर्णानन्दरसानुभूति सहित स्मेर प्रसन्नाननम् पूर्णेन्दुप्रभमात्मबोधनिलयम् शान्तं निरीहं परम् नित्यविचारसारचतुरम् निर्मत्सरं पावनम् श्रीभूमानन्दमहं नतोऽस्मि कलितानन्दं परं श्रेयसे
क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे. When the supreme truth is fully known, three benefits accrue. One is the knot of the heart called ego is let loose. All doubts are dispelled, and all the effects of karma which apparently you seem to carry in you, all of them are exhausted. So the ego is totally untied. The doubts completely disappear. And any kind of a feeling of having to do, having done, suffering the consequence or enjoying, these things also vanish. The mind becomes like the autumn sky. In such a situation, what is there further to be known? In the autumn sky, there will be no product at all. See, our astronauts were traveling to the moon. So when they went beyond the orbit of the earth, they could not understand anything. There was nothing to see, nothing to think, nothing to find. So they had to be told, it is early in the morning, get up, go to the bathroom, wash your teeth, take breakfast, etc., etc. So in such a state, what will anybody do? It is a state of fullness where the whole space is revealed. That is the nature of knowledge that you have. This knowledge is called the subject knowledge, as different from the object knowledge. And so far as the object is concerned, shall I say? Huh? Shall I say? Why is he keeping quiet? He doesn't nod his head. Shall I say or not? Then you should tell me openly. When you sleep, is there any object there?
You are there. You are lying on the bed.
Shh. When you are asleep, do you feel that you are sleeping?
No.
What happens to your body?
Your body
So everything is gone. You are not gone. You wake up to say, I knew nothing, I slept comfortably. Naturally, that is the subject. All other things are objects. When the objects are not there, still the subject survives. But when the subject is not there, the object cannot be. So the subject becomes the supreme and the object is a subsidiary and dependent factor. This knowledge you get. I can explain it still further. Remind me next time.
Reverend Swamiji, the mind has enormous strength.
The mind?
The mind has enormous strength. Enormous strength.
Oh yes, enormous strength. Okay.
But how do we achieve that strength? How do we enhance our strength?
Okay, please. When you know the mind has enormous strength and you start reflecting upon it, how you say that mind has enormous strength? So we will start explaining what is this meant by this enormity of the mind and mind strength. When you know that the mind is enormous and you have such a mind, tell me what will you be? Huh? When the mind intrinsically has enormous strength and you have such a mind, does it not stand to conclude that you are also enormous in your strength? No. Such a simple thing. See, the mind has got enormous strength and you have such a mind. So you tell me, having a mind of enormous strength, will you be enormous or not in your strength? This is the simple way. It is not that you have to make the mind enormous. Mind has enormous strength. I will tell you. All our experiences are within the body and in the mental level. This much will you agree? Huh? If all experiences are in the mental level, you are looking at the world and you say it is an endless world. So this endlessness about the world you are pronouncing on the basis of your experiencing it. So if the mind gives you the experience of the endless world, what is the measure and magnitude of the mind? How is it that you are keeping quiet? See, mind is the seat of your experiences, source of your experiences. And it is this mind that reveals to you the endless nature of the world. So the endless world, where is it reflected and felt? When your mind reflects the endlessness, the endless magnitude of the world, is the mind bigger than that measure, or it is smaller? So please speak to me from the intelligence, not mortgage it. Where from do you get the idea that the world is infinite? Did the world speak to you? I can look at this object. I will see only this. I can look at the table. I can look at the hall. I can look into the wide open sky. All these things are reflected in my mind and I experience them. So the mind, the bestower of all experiences, and in that experience you find an infinitude and endlessness. These two words, on the basis of what are you saying? The sun rises in the morning. You sit somewhere in the corner of a globe and then say the sun has risen. How dare you make such a statement? On the basis of your experience, you are seeing the sun rising. And this rising of the sun, where do you see it? Why are you looking up? Where are you seeing the sun rising? If you have no eyes, will the sun rise? So the rising of the sun at such a great distance, your mind, and every time you see something, you don't see the object at all. It is our mind that makes an imprint of the object, and you are seeing the mind imprint every time. All of you are seated before me, and I see all of you. I don't come to you, you don't come to me, you haven't entered my heart. But I can tell you who is seated where, and what kind of a dress that person has put on. From here I am able to say. So how do I say this? Because all of you are imprinted by my mind. My mind imprints all of you in my own mind. So I see only the mind imprint. I don't see you. So you tell me what is the source of all experiences? Tell me. Do you agree or disagree? I squarely want to ask you, are you a fool or wise? You have to tell me I am a fool. Or you have to say I am wise. What is this? It is our mind that reflects and shows all experiences. And I experience infinitude by my mind. So what is the capacity and measure of my mind, you tell me? Such a mind you are possessing. And what should you be? You should be an ant or you should be a mountain. This is what human life is meant for. See, you walk with a dog early in the morning. You and the dog will see all around. The dog will come and sleep. You will start thinking about what you have seen. This is the difference between an animal and a human. Everything that we see, everything that we experience, we can subject it to an introspection and grow in our knowledge. Our human life is not meant for eating, sleeping, and multiplying. Our human life is meant for knowledge. Knowledge. You delight in your mind. You delight in your wisdom. Knowledge is the source of delight for you, not food and shelter. What do you think when you desire something and the desired object is had by you? You wanted to purchase a car, you purchase the car, it is in the garage. But where do you have the delight? In the garage or in your mind? So who is the delighter? The car is the delighter or mind is the delighter? Because the mind produced a desire and that desired object is had. The mind feels my desired object is had, therefore I am delightful. So producing a desire, fulfilling it and giving you the delight, the whole process takes place in your mind or outside. Is there any object which enters your inside to make you delightful? Even a newborn child, the child is outside, the mother feels happy. The mother feels happy. So the happiness is in her mind. The same mind can be asked, now through the objects you are giving me delight, my dear mind. Delight is an emotion, joy is an emotion. That emotion is had only by the mind. All emotions belong to the mind. This much do you agree? Agree? So the delight also is mind's. Now you are giving me delight through an object. My dear mind, you start giving me delight all by yourself, without the object. Is it rational or not? You have to answer me. You cannot escape. The mind is the only source of delight. Ask the mind to give you the delight. That is how we people are moving about, always happy and contented. If you ask me, my dear world, I want nothing from you. There is no plus that can be brought about in me. There cannot be a minus administered to me. I am complete and full. This is what I have to tell the world. Nothing. Nothing can be added to me. There is no space in me. In my mind, what can enter? Can any object enter from this world? Please answer me. Are you afraid? Can any object enter my mind to give me delight? So I am delighted by my own mind. Now it seeks to delight through the objects. The same mind can say, without any objects, I shall be delightful. That is why people sing the name of God and start dancing. I also put people into dance. Please understand, this is knowledge. What knowledge? Knowledge of the subjects, not knowledge of the objects. This is knowledge of the knowing process, the knower. The knowing process, that is within. The knower is within. The knowledge is his. When I explain it to you, automatically there must be some impact. That is why Vedanta, the Upanishads say, you learn it sitting close to your teacher. And he will persuasively tell you, repeatedly tell you, see, I got up. Why did I get up? Because I felt that, what is this? This knowledge is missed by so many people. It's a fact. It's a truth. And only a human brain is required to know it. I cannot talk to the swines. I can only talk to the humans. They will be able to understand it. And any knowledge is an addition. This is the greatest persuasion in man. So when you know that you have such an enormous mind, what is it that you need from the world? You will give to the world rather than take from the world. You will be a giver. By your life, the world will be enriched. The world will be edified. The world will be ornamented. The world will be more and more resourceful. See, I was reading a High Court judgment. He was saying the spiritual centers and spiritual abodes are the conscience keepers of the society, the judge says, after a beautiful discussion. Such conscience keeping centers are there everywhere in every country. So when something happens there, something undesirable, we should not magnify it and create a big problem. We should try to hush it up. Otherwise the society loses something very great, he says. This knowledge, nobody generally runs after it, but some people do run after it. That is why it is preserved. Our Ramayana, Mahabharata, etc. have been preserved not in reading rooms and libraries, in the mouths and hearts of people. They sing it, they read it, they explain it, they hear it, they write on it. And for thousands of years this literature has been kept by us without changing a syllable of them. One syllable has not been changed. The Sanskrit that was written multi-millennia earlier, that language written multi-millennia earlier, even today we read it and understand it in the same manner. When I read Paranchikani Vyadranat Swayam Bhoo, it was written in the Vedic Upanishads. When we don't know, I read them, understand them. The same words, the same ideas, the same meaning. If India is great, it's only because of this wonderful possession, wonderful treasure that they have. Some people felt moved and touched by it, and they lived for that. See, I am one who has been relishing this knowledge beyond everything. So for the sake of this knowledge, pursuing it, perfecting it, and also propagating or disseminating it, I felt push, left everything, income, job, blood relations, everything left. And I got out to become free. In getting out, I always used to say, I have been greeted by chance. I am greeted by chance and graced by providence during the past 63, 64 years. Because of the love for this knowledge. Please understand this. Please understand this. Love for this knowledge is so beautiful, so mighty, so stupendous, so resourceful. What is there? It is about your mind, your intelligence, your eye, nothing else outside. You must be wondering as to why I got up, is it not? Huh? Huh? Not necessarily so, but what I felt was that, how can I drive this fact home? So I am trying, maybe I will fly also, if I can.
Swamiji. Jai Guru Swamiji. My humble pranams, Swamiji. With your permission, I have a question, or rather, I seek your confirmation whether my understanding is correct. Swamiji, I have understood that we say that I have a mind, I have a body, and these are my thoughts. So it's I have a mind, I have a body, I have thoughts, I have emotions, but these do not make up me. I am not this, I'm not these. And Swamiji also said that we are actually supreme. The I is supreme. The I controls everything, our perception of things, and the eyes, and we interact with the outer world through our bodies, through the 5 sensory organs, and they get interpreted in the mind, get imprinted in the mind. So, Swamiji, may I ask if my understanding is correct? the actual I, the real I, is the big I, which I understand it to be, if I'm correct, Swamiji, the pure consciousness. So, if could I use this term to say that I am the actual me, the real me is the pure consciousness, the very substratum of the whole universe. And therefore, I shouldn't actually, I need not strive so much as what you say. Providence is always there. Hence, if we can grasp this principle, we need not worry, we need not strive, we need not have any fear at all. Fear of not having enough, fear of fear of losing what we already have, and also we could then be more aware of the workings of the ego that actually controls us in a not in a constricted way. So if I can sort of like have a mindset, adopt this new mindset that I am the pure consciousness. Hence, I can be the Chit Ananda, Sat Chit Ananda. I don't have to worry. Am I right, Swamiji? Jai Guru.
I don't know whether I have understood you correctly. I will try to answer you. Please listen to me. In the whole creation, mark my words, in the whole creation, there are only three constituents. One is matter, another is energy. The matter and energy and their derivations, all of them can be sensed by our senses. But the world is not exhausted by matter and energy. There is one more factor as far as we experience things, we are concerned. The third factor is consciousness. What? Other than these three, there is nothing at all in the whole creation. Either it is matter, or it is energy, or it is consciousness. Now, what is this consciousness is a very important question. While matter and energy are visible and subject to sensory observation, comparison and contrast, consciousness is not sensorily visible or perceptible. Because it is not perceptible to the senses, you cannot define it. We only have a vocabulary which relates to objects. This consciousness being other than matter and energy, we cannot define it. But we know that there is consciousness because we are conscious. What did I say? And what is consciousness? Please listen to me carefully. We cannot define it, I have already said, but still we must make an attempt. Consciousness is that which makes you conscious of other things and yourself. Consciousness is that which makes you conscious of other things and yourself. That consciousness is this I. Because that I makes you aware of the body, aware of the mind, aware of the intelligence, aware of the ego, aware of the world. It also makes you aware of itself. That is why you say I am. So, apart from the I am feeling or I feeling, you must be able to get at the consciousness as a distinct presence, by virtue of which you become conscious of all other things as well as yourself. When you are able to understand the amness of the I, then you become wise. I will put it in another way. I am a very good speaker. I will put it in another way. You are sleeping unconsciously. You don't know. But when you wake up, you can say, I slept. If you can sleep consciously, then you will understand it. So it is either conscious slumber or sleepy consciousness. In other words, it is either wakeful slumber or sleepy consciousness. This is the only third factor. And the third factor is the source of the other two, matter and energy. Have I helped you in any way? You say I, but you should understand what is this I. The I is not matter, it is not energy. So other than matter and energy, what can it be? It can only be consciousness. And you are conscious. That is why you are wakeful. That conscious element which makes you conscious of your wakefulness, that is the truth that you are looking for. Vedanta deals with that. Anybody who has understood it, his life becomes devoted to that understanding and he starts spreading this message. That is what happens. He doesn't find any other pursuit to be interesting. Okay.
Thank
So
you,
I shall-
Swamiji. Sorry, Swamiji. Thank you, Swamiji. We hope all of you have got most of your doubts cleared. And should you have any other questions, you can keep them later you can raise them up later.
Samvedya varjidamanuttamamekamādyam samvidpadam vikalanam kalayan mahatman hridyeva tishta kalanārahidah kriyām tu kurvan akartrapadamētya samodidashri kurvan akartrapadamētya samodidashri. We shall have a conclusional Omkara recitation in chorus. I hope we have known each other well and you have also become more familiar. So I can expect a greater participation in this chorus recitation from all of you participants. Harihi, Harihi. Like before, now also, but better. Okay, we shall meet again. I wish you well. Very good. What do you say, my dear boy? Is it interesting? Very good.